All these tips I'm going to share to you today are going to elevate your web design skills to the next level and give people who are looking to design a new website all the tips that they need to make a perfect website to make sure they reach the right audience and get their website converting. So let's get right into it. Watch tutorials. It sounds simple, but everything is on YouTube. Watch videos. Learn from other people. Get yourself familiar with the software that you want to use. Every day there's a new tip or trick that you can find out, which will help bring your website up a notch. Have a plan. Have a system in place. Don't just think of starting a website and creating from scratch. Have something you want to follow. So create a sitemap, create a wireframe. This planning beforehand means you're able to structure the website the way that you want, making sure you're not missing any important details, and it will give you a quick overview of what you want to expect from your website instead of finishing it and realizing the amount of changes that you need to make. Look, here's the thing, you don't have to learn code anymore. Using Webflow means you can learn to create a website without creating any code for it. It does it all for you, and it's very simple to actually design your website to the way that you want it by placing grids, alignments, which I'll talk about later, and it's a great tool to use for beginners, and there's so much that you can learn from it and use from it to create an amazing website for your company. Now, you also want to be bold and commit to a style, and what I mean by that is you could be minimalist, brutal, modern, the list goes on, but pick a style and be consistent. If you're changing styles throughout your website, it's going to be very hard to navigate, ruin the user experience, and get people clicking off your website straight away without even seeing the important information you've put on there. So stick to one style, don't change it, and keep it professional. You always want to make your typography easy to read throughout all of your website. You don't want text too small, which is unreadable. You don't want it too large, so it takes up so much space of the website. Imagine you're on your phone and all you see is a massive text that's not responsive, not split up. It's going to be impossible to read. Everyone's going to think it's a rubbish website, they haven't optimized it, and they're just going to click off. So if you make sure all your text is readable, it will make the user experience amazing and get people engaging with your website much more than they would have. Bring some life into your websites. Animations are a great way to do that. Webflow offers so many animations which can bring your website to life. Even simple pop-ups, or when you scroll down the page, delays and appears. It gives your website a personality. But again, be careful of not overdoing it, because then the user experience, you just need to find a balance of too little and too much and make it a perfect amount so the user experience is amazing, because at the end of the day, you're creating a website for your audience for them to use, not for yourself to use. Make sure not to overload your website with so many images. It can really slow down your website, giving it a very poor SEO score, meaning it won't rank on Google well, and especially for local businesses, this can have a great effect because you're not going to be reaching your audience and missing out on so many potential customers. A lot of images can distract you from the website and the main idea of the website. You might have a rich copy which is filled with information, but if you've got 10 images around that copy, no one's going to read it. Everyone's going to be interested in the images around it. However, if you want a website with loads of images, make sure you optimize them. Compress the files. Make sure they're not taking up too much space on your page. Align it accordingly so there's a balance between a good copy and an image. It will just make your website easier to navigate, easier to read, and give a final destination of a call to action. Be sneaky. Get website inspiration from other people. Look at your competitors, look at what they're doing and what you really like about their website. Are they doing one thing which is really eye-catching and you could use on your own website? Are there certain color palettes that they're using which you would like to use? Are there certain phrasings that they're using which you know you can incorporate into your own website? If you take bits of information from each competitor, you'll be able to make a great website because you're taking the best bits from so many different websites which you know are performing well because they ranked high in Google. They have already optimized their website for SEO, so you already know their website copy is good, their images are good. Just take a bit of inspiration from them and then you can optimize your website and make it a very high converting platform. Make sure your file formats are correct. You want to make sure your images are PNGs or JPEGs, and like I said earlier, make sure they're compressed. This means the page will load quicker and increase the retention of people visiting your website. Logos should also be vector graphics or SVGs. This means they'll become less pixelated, they'll be clearer, and your logo is your brand. Check out my last video that I made about how important a logo is for your brand and how it is your personality and how it is your brand voice. So make sure to check that out after you've watched this video. Again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, use grids for alignments. It will make your life so much easier. You'll be able to structure your website very easily with these grids. You won't have to stare at your screen, get a ruler out on your laptop and make sure everything's in line. The grids will help you do that. They're very functional, they make your website look clean, and it keeps it very professional throughout. It's sometimes considered bad to have white space, but make sure there is some for your website. And that doesn't mean just white around your website. It means space where there is nothing on the website, so it could be a colored background, but it means you're able to divide your page into different sections. Again, navigation is key, the user experience is key. So this white space allows them to navigate through the website easier and distinguish different sections of what you're trying to portray on your website. If your whole page is just filled with information and images, it will look very cluttered. You won't be able to navigate through it, you won't be able to understand anything, and then people just click off. People's attention spans go like that, so you just need to make sure to keep it professional, keep it clean, and make sure it's not cluttered. This ties into a previous tip. Make sure to use a style guide. So again, keep your fonts and colors consistent. Have a color palette. If there's 50 colors on your website, imagine what that will look like. It will look like a strobe effect happening on your website, and it would just be so difficult to understand what's going on. You're trying to portray your brand, so keep it professional. And on that point, think about your clients. It's not about what you want on the website website or what you think would look good. What do you think your clients want to see when they click on their website? What information do they want to find out? What is the key objective of your website? What CTAs do you want to put in? Here you can ask around from existing clients on what they are looking for exactly. This will be a great indication of the key information that you need to portray, especially on your landing page, the first thing that they see. Because what you might think is good will not be good for the client. And again, it just reduces engagement, and all that effort you put into building a website is just gone down the drain. When in doubt, use one font. All my points lead back to the same thing: usability, engagement, and the type of experience the customer gets when they're on their website. Multiple fonts will just make the website load slower. So again, just keep it consistent. Change the colors if you like. Increase the sizing. Make it bold. Make it italic. One font with all these different styles can make a big difference instead of you having to use multiple fonts to try and portray your message. As always, simplicity is key. I've jumped ahead here, but keep your colors simple. Have a color palette with you all the time. Don't go extreme with loads of different colors. If you want to change the tint of a color, that's perfectly fine because it will still align with your brand. You don't have to use the whole color wheel for your website. Keep with your style, keep it simple, change the tint if you need to, and that's all you need to do. Left align your text. Think about it. We read books from left to right. You don't have to justify everything in the center because it just makes it difficult to read. Again, user experience. You want it to be easy to read. You want it to be easy to navigate. Why are you making it harder for someone on your website to read something which is split up just to make sure it fits in the grid? No, just align it to the left when the words end and the new line starts. It just makes it easier to read. There's no need to overcomplicate it. You just want to make it easy, simple, and it just increases the chance of someone staying on your website instead of having a difficult time navigating through it, reading everything. People just get fed up. Now, this is very important. Make sure your website is responsive. So many people are on their phones now instead of their laptops. I would even go to say that it's better to optimize your mobile website rather than your desktop website. It's just a few key changes that you need to make, but it makes the biggest difference of them all. People can now pay through their phones, so if you have an e-commerce store, you want people to be able to navigate through their phone and then buy it instantly, instead of seeing your website, seeing that it's not responsive, hard to use, and then having to go to your website to buy. You think people are actually going to do that? No, never. They'll just click on your competitor's website, see that it's easy to use, they can buy it with one click of a button, and that's life sorted. So make sure your website is mobile responsive. Staying on the topic of consistency, make sure all your CTA buttons, all your internal links are all the same. One CTA shouldn't be bigger than the other. They all have the same end result, so booking a free call, for example. So why does one have priority over the other? It shows that your website wasn't designed properly, and it just doesn't make sense. Why would one be bigger than the other? Now, say you have links for internal buttons, so a learn more link. You can make these different colors because these are different from the CTAs. But again, throughout your website, make sure these are all the same, keeping everything level, keeping everything the same in your website, leaving a clear structure and easy navigation. Like I've said a million times in this video, I'm getting sick of it. Make your CTA sticky. And what I mean by that is make sure it's always on view. You don't want a user to scroll all the way down your website and then find a contact form. As soon as they click on your website, they need to see the end destination of your website. So whether that is book a free consultation call or get your free resource or buy now, you want to show that to them in a bright color. So then they can read through your website and know, okay, I will buy from this person because I've loved everything that I've seen on the website. It's all consistent. I trust them and I don't have any doubts. You could even have a scroll option. So at the right hand side, when people are scrolling, the CTA is always on show so they can always fill in their contact information for you to contact. So the key thing here is make sure your CTA is always visible. Stick with one. And this is reference to CTAs. Don't have different CTA buttons saying book a call, book a free consultation call, book your appointment. All these have different meanings. And if you have them all over your website on different pages with different meanings, people won't know which one they want. They'll be left confused and they won't use what you have to offer. So stick with one. So for example, book your free consultation call. They'll see that throughout the website and they know that is the only thing I need to focus on. I'll put in my contact details and then that's when we can go from there. Again, don't overcomplicate things. Join a community, improve your web design skills, learn from others. This is very similar to watching tutorials. You can ask specific questions here, get tips, get inspiration from other people to help with your design. And you never know, you might find a golden gem and it will just glue your website together and make it what you want it to be. Just hit publish on it. Your website will never be perfect. There's going to be constant changes. There's going to be constant updates. So don't worry if there's one minor tweak, just publish it. Let people see. The world is constantly moving. There's always new features. There's always new things coming out. So if you're going to keep waiting for that new moment and new feature to bring your website to the next level, you're never going to publish it. It's never going to be seen by anyone. Publish it, and it doesn't mean you can never make changes to it. Of course you can. You just keep pressing publish until you make a minor change. And you just keep optimizing your website to make sure it reaches the right audience, making sure you have a good user experience. So just hit publish. There are people out there that are too scared or waiting for the right moment. There is no right moment. Get it done, and then you can make the changes when you need. And lastly, practice every day. Sharpen your skills, learn from others, so join in the community. It's the same as anything else you do in life. You do it every day, you're just going to keep getting better and better. There are now 3D website developers who are learning, so you could do the exact same, improve your skills, and be one of the top people who are designing 3D websites, which is the next big thing. So I hope you got something from this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps. Leave a comment down below on any tips I missed, and be on the lookout for next week's video.